Hi, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I'm going to be chatting about some things that have been bringing me joy. I'd love to do these videos seasonally. It's an opportunity for me to talk about more than just books, although I am going to be talking about some of my favorite books of the past quarter. So I will have timestamps in the description of this video because I'm talking about food, I'm talking about entertainment, I'm talking about video games, I'm talking about books. So you can skip over things you're not interested in and skip to the things that you're more interested in. So I'm gonna kind of start with some lifestyle changes, I guess, that have been bringing a lot of peace and joy to my days. So first of all, I stole an idea from my friend Whitney that she started having a completely phones-free family night. So every single person turns their phone off or on silent and puts it away and doesn't have it after dinner. I thought that was a fantastic idea and something that we could easily implement in our home. There's only a couple of nights a week, probably like 2, that we're actually all home at the same time. So for us, that night is Monday night, which is Peter's day off anyway. And after dinner, we just put away our phones and have to find other things to do with each other rather than, everyone on different devices or being distracted when we are trying to spend time together. So as a result of that, we have already finished a family read aloud, and I can't remember the last time that we finished a family read aloud. We've tried a couple of times since we've lived in Kentucky, and it just hasn't worked. Like, Claire and I read books together all the time, but again, it's hard to find a consistent evening or time to do that when all of us are around. We've also watched some movies together, we've played some video games together, and we taught Claire how to play Rummy, which has been really, really fun. So we have, like, for each month, like, a tallied score of the rounds that we play, and then we can see who the winner is at the end of the month. Another thing I've been enjoying is I've been trying to get back into working out consistently, and that has been a bit of a challenge for multiple reasons. I've had some health things going on this year that's made that hard, and so I'm finally in the place where I can, start working out again as of the past month or so. And it's hard to rebuild that habit when you've been out of the habit for a while. So my goal was just to get into a daily workout routine, even if that means that it's not like a long workout or anything. So we have been members of Beachbody On Demand, which is now just called Body, I think, for a really long time, probably 8 years or something. And I love it because they have workout programs that you don't have to think about what your next workout is. You don't have to plan to make sure you're balanced in terms of cardio and weightlifting and upper body days and lower body days. They make sure that you're hitting all the muscle groups. And so I really like the ease of use for that. But they just started doing 10-minute workouts. I know 10 minutes is not a lot. And I used to work out anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes a day, just depending. I want to get to that point again, but it's really easy for me to find excuses for something that's a longer workout because I might have overslept or I might not have time or it might be a busier day, but it's a lot harder for me to make an excuse for 10 minutes a day. And so it's easier to squeeze in and rebuild that habit of daily working out. And so that's been fantastic, and I've been really excited because they have beginner levels, intermediate, advanced, and so there's different intensities depending on what you're looking for. If you don't have time that particular day, you can squeeze something in, or you can do what I'm doing and just do 10 minutes a day for however long it takes you to get through the program. I think it's a 4-week program. In terms of food, I have really been enjoying salads lately, and I don't mean salads like the traditional salads. I mean dense salads that are I've seen them referred to sometimes as dense bean salads or as scoopable salads because you can use tortilla chips or rice cakes or whatever you want to scoop it out, or you can put them in pita pockets, whatever. It's very versatile for that. Some of the bean salads I've been enjoying is, first of all, cowboy caviar, which is my favorite one for sure. I love it. It's very Southwestern, has a homemade lime vinaigrette on it, but has different types of beans and corn and peppers and onions and avocado, and it's just super delicious, perfect with tortilla chips. I also found one that was a grinder version, so it had some white beans and some chickpeas, and then it had salami, I think, and pepperoncinis and like a red wine vinaigrette that's very similar to what they do at Jersey Mike's. I think it also has some peppers and some other veggies in there as well. I think I might have added tomatoes to mine as well. It is just like so good. I also have a chicken salad I made that I have loved. It's a broccoli pesto chicken salad. So it's got the veggies in there, it's got protein. The pesto is like a really good flavor. You can eat that with chips, you can eat it on a sandwich and in a wrap, like however you want to eat it. It's really delicious. I'll have all those recipes linked down below in case you want to try any of them. The last recipe I want to talk about is a dinner recipe because everything else is just kind of like meal prep kind of a thing. So I found this recipe for yellow jasmine rice on Budget Bites. And so there's a recipe that's just the rice that I paired with like some 5-spice chicken one time, but then there's a 1-pot jasmine rice as well that has like bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, and then I think you're supposed to put peas in there too. I think I put green beans in mine because it was just what I had, but it's like super easy, super delicious. The rice itself is like very fragrant and delicious. It has like turmeric in it and a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of cumin, maybe, I think. I can't remember for sure, but it's so good. I could just eat that rice nonstop. It is like my favorite rice now. So I've tried it in a couple of different recipes and I just keep coming back to it. And every week when I am menu planning, I'm like, I really want to eat some more of that yellow jasmine rice. Moving on to music, we are in like full comeback season in the K-pop world. So a group that Claire and I have recently become obsessed with, that's not a new group in general, but one that we have really started enjoying a lot, is P1 Harmony. P1 Harmony has an interesting sound. It's not the same as a lot of the other groups that we might typically listen to. It's definitely a bit more on the hip hop side of things than it is pop. So that's really fun. Like a lot of the rappers are really incredible, and they kind of, some of their songs have like a very 90s vibe. And we've had a few songs of theirs that we've loved before, but we really started getting into them probably January-ish and listening to them a ton and really loving them, which was fun because they just had a comeback and it was the first time that we were part of their fandom and their comeback happened. And so that was super fun. We really enjoyed that. Their new comeback is really good also, in case you're wondering. The title track is unique and the choreography is great. The song is fantastic. It's stuck in my head constantly, but the whole album is actually really good. IVE also had a comeback, and IVE is probably my daughter's favorite girl group at this point, or close. I know ITZY's up there really high for her as well. IVE is not quite as much a favorite for me, although I do really like them, and their new comeback was really good. But something that was really cool about their new album is that each of the 6 girls had the opportunity to do a solo song, and so that was really fun. Really enjoyed that. I think my favorite solo songs are Yujin, who is my bias, and then Liz's was really good. It actually kind of sounds like an American pop song to me. It's like very melodic and very beautiful. And then I loved Gaul's as well. Like hers is probably my favorite. Hers is called Odd, and she just launched her own YouTube channel, and the first video that she did was kind of like creating a vision board that represents her as a person. And I didn't know that she's like a big reader. She's very foodie as well, so the things that she had on her board were really fun, but it was just like a really soothing, relaxing video, and I enjoyed that so much. We are eagerly anticipating the Kickflip comeback, which is coming in April, but they did have like a pre-release track, which is 20, and we are like obsessed with that. Kickflip is really fun because they kind of have a punk pop vibe, which brings me back to teenage Tiffany, because I listened to a lot of emo and punk rock kind of music, and so it's really fun to see that starting to trickle into K-pop spaces. There's not very many groups that have that sound, so Kickflip feels very fresh and unique for that, and they're also like very youthful. Their choreography is very impressive, and because they're one of those groups that's smaller and not as well known yet, they put 10,000% into their performances, which makes them especially fun to watch. In terms of TV shows and movies, the show that I'm watching right now with my husband, we kind of go through shows together and we'll watch them. They're often K-dramas. The one that we're watching right now is Extraordinary Attorney Woo. We're a little over halfway through it and I love it so much. Like, I feel like it's gonna break into like my top 5 favorite K-drama shows. So this is about an attorney, as you might be able to tell from the title. She has autism and she's able to get a position at a law firm after most law firms have turned her down. And so she was top of her class in university and is brilliant, has like a photographic memory, and is able to memorize all kinds of law things. So it's very interesting how she is able to see things or remember things that seasoned attorneys maybe don't. And so she offers a very unique perspective, but at the same time, she's fighting against the prejudice against autistic people that they don't belong in this kind of workplace and that they're awkward and that they're strange. And she does have, like, you know, some fixations. She's obsessed with whales, for example, and certain things like that. She has certain things that she has to do before she can enter a room. And so there are people that really, because they don't understand her, they're not sure they're willing to accept her. And so I feel like this is a really interesting K-drama in that it's portraying autism in a very positive light with someone who's able to have a successful career, because I think that that's something that probably is not as widely accepted in Korea as it is in America. We also finally watched K-pop Demon Hunters. My daughter and I have been listening to the music since it came out, but we didn't have Netflix for a while. We kind of swap out our streaming services because it can get out of hand. Like, it gets so expensive if you want to have all the streaming services at one time. So we typically only have one at a time. And so we were trying to finish up a K-drama on Viki, which is a streaming service specifically for Asian media. So it does have K-dramas, but it also has like Japanese, Chinese, Indian shows too. So it's not just Korean. But we finally finished our show and then switched over to Netflix. And when we did that, one of the first things we did is Claire and I watched K-pop Demon Hunters together. I'd heard a lot of things about this movie, mostly good things, and so we were really excited to watch it, especially because we really loved the music. And I was prepared for something that was visually interesting, something that had a lot of humor, and something that was fun. But what I wasn't prepared for was the level of depth that I got from this movie, with messages about kind of how shame and isolation imprisons us and keeps us from being able to use our voice to protect others. It was so good. There was a lot of really deep spiritual messages in there that I just was not expecting. It was absolutely fantastic. In terms of video games, I have played a lot of video games this year, honestly, which has been really fun. I've had a little bit more time the past couple of months to be able to play more video games. And I've played some that I've really loved, some that I thought were fine and enjoyed them while I was playing. And then I've replayed some as well for the comfort factor. But I have a couple that I want to share with you that I have just really, really loved. The first one of that is Fantasy Life I think it's like The Girl Who Saved Time or something like that. Can't remember the little subtitle on there. It had a moment last summer where people were just obsessed with this game when it first came out, but I couldn't justify the $60 price tag on it. So once we got our Christmas money, there was a huge Nintendo eShop digital sale right after Christmas, and this game went like 25% off or 30% off, something like that. And so I picked it up because I'm like, now's the time. This is a really interesting and unique game, and that it combines a lot of elements from a lot of different games. So you are someone that you travel through time, and there's like 3 basic different areas that you're in. One of them is the past version, where you have these different lives, plus the fantasy life, and you level them up. So it's very much an RPG. You then have another world that you go into called Ginormasia, which feels exactly like Breath of the Wild. There's enemies to fight, there's things to find, there's treasures to uncover, and then there's also shrines that you have to solve puzzles or different things that you have to do in these different shrines to get different things that you bring back to the third world in this, which is the current day, where you create this like base camp, and then you are able to, within that camp, invite people to come live with you there. You can do terraforming, you can do decorating, so it's very similar to Animal Crossing. So you've got like all these different things that are all in the same game. So when you first start, I was feeling kind of overwhelmed, and I was like, man, this is a lot. But the more I played it, the more I kind of got the hang of it, and it was just like a lot of fun. And I obsessively played it till about the end of the storyline, and then you can continue playing once the story is actually done. You can continue decorating your island. There are different post-game things that open up once you have finished the game, but I found that once I finished the storyline, I was no longer interested in the post-game things that were offered to you. So I just stopped playing after that. But it was really fun, and it's one that has a lot of replay value in my opinion. I also picked up Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is the latest Donkey Kong game. It's been compared a lot to Super Mario Odyssey, which was one of my favorite games of the year last year. And I can see the similarities because you are going through areas trying to find these bananas. And the bananas kind of will remind you a bit probably of the power moons that you get from Mario Odyssey, but it's very different in like terms of the mechanics of the game. So basically, you're smashing through everything as Donkey Kong. So it's very fun to just smash through different layers. There's almost nothing that can't be smashed. So there's different enemies that you have to defeat, different puzzles that you have to solve, and the bananas will actually help you level up in various areas. As the game progresses and the story progresses, you end up being able to talk to different people that give Donkey Kong different abilities that you go into like bonanza mode, and one is like a zebra one, one's an elephant one, one's a, there's just different ones. And each of these bonanza modes give you different abilities that you don't have when you're just Donkey Kong. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I actually didn't finish this game though. I got a little burnt out on it because it started feeling a bit samey once I got towards the end. I do think I got about 3/4 of the way through. The last game that I want to talk about is Hogwarts Legacy, which takes place in the Harry Potter world, as you might guess by the title, but it takes place 100 years before the events of Harry Potter. So it is so fun. It's a beautiful game. I'm playing it on the Switch 2, which I've heard the Switch 2 version is better than the Switch 1. I can definitely still see glitches. The graphics are not as beautiful as they would be on, say, PlayStation or Xbox or probably even PC, all these different areas that have better graphic components than the Switch, but I didn't find it, or I haven't found it distractingly bad to play it. I'm currently playing this game. In this game, you become a student at Hogwarts in the middle of the 5th year, which is not common, as you might know. Usually the first years get their letters to Hogwarts at 11 and then go all the way through. You're a character who has just been discovered and you are 5th year age, so you're trying to catch up on the magic that everyone else has already learned, as well as kind of solve a mystery. There's a storyline that's going on here, a lot of things happening. But it's like super magical because you go to different classes and you learn different abilities, and there's this whole world to explore. I thought that this was only going to take place in Hogwarts, and Hogwarts itself is a lot to explore. It's a huge castle and things are changing and moving around. And then towards the beginning of the game, you go to Hogsmeade as well, and so there was that component to explore. But once you go to Hogsmeade, you see the greater map of the world, and it's huge. I still haven't unlocked so much of this map, and so it's really, really fun to explore. There's lots of things to find. There's collecting aspects of the game. The combat is really unique in that you have to kind of like link together different spells to kind of get the enemies and stuff, and so it's just so much fun. And lastly, but not leastly, I'm going to talk about books. The thing that's weird about my reading this year is that I only have, I think, 2 5-star books that aren't rereads. So I really have not had a fantastic reading year so far. And it's not like I've been hating everything that I've been reading, but I've had a lot of books that I've just kind of felt meh about. And I think that part of that is a me problem because there's just been a lot happening in our lives. We've had like a lot of illness. We've had a lot happening in our church and with our families that's been kind of difficult. And so I think that books that maybe would have been a 5-star are just not quite hitting that mark for me. I will say that books that I knew I was going to love is that I'm back in the world of Robin Hobb. So at the point of me filming this, I am through 2 of the 3 books of the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the 3rd trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings. And man, is it great to be back with Fitz. You've probably heard me talk about this in my videos. Just really, really enjoyed the first 2 books of this series. And so I have 1 more to go in this one, and then we're moving on to more. But I tried to read other fantasy series. Like I'm reading this with my friend Whitney, and we like took a break and tried to read some other things because it was in between trilogies. So the timing was kind of perfect, but nothing else was hitting, you know? So I think that Robin Hobb has not truly spoiled me for all other fantasy, but in a sense she kind of has. Because if I'm reading other high epic fantasy, it's hard not to compare it to Robin Hobb, and I just feel like her craft is superior. Like her writing is so good, her world building is so good. The last book that we read in the Tawny Man trilogy, like nothing happens in it. Nothing. Like a lot of things happen, but like the greater story, nothing's resolved. And you just get a lot of lore and a lot of things about the world, which is fine. But I think with other authors, I would have been bored out of my mind. But I absolutely wasn't with Robin Hobb. I was still like, oh, this is still all I want to read. So I feel like that has been like the shining star of my reading year so far, along with rereads, which has been like kind of comforting to go back to books that I've loved. I've never been a huge rereader. I do reread some, but I don't reread a ton. And this year I have reread more. Part of that is because of my American literature class that I was teaching books that I had previously already read. So I had a few of those, one of which was Fahrenheit 451, which I just read last year, and it was my #1 book of the year. So it was really great to read that again and teach that to my kids. It has just been so fun. I just really love that book. But I've also been reading some kind of more comforting rereads. Like I read The House at Pooh Corner in February, and it just like the Pooh books just bring so much joy. So that was really fun. So I found that like rereading is going really well for me, and just cozier things that are bringing more comfort to me. I think this is just like a time where I either need escapism or I need something comforting. And that's kind of where I am right this moment. It's not where I've been all year so far, but that's kind of where I am right now. I found that if I'm trying to read other books, they're a little harder to focus on and enjoy quite as much as I normally would. But I think I'm starting to come out of that funk just a little bit. So I will probably have vastly different answers for you when I chat with you about this the next season. Well, that's it for this favorites video. Just a little bit of things that are bringing me joy lately, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. If we have any favorite shared things, of course, I'd love to chat with you about that, but I'd be most interested in hearing what things have been bringing you joy lately, whether it's a book that you read, a meal that you made, something that you've been doing with your family or by yourself, or a show you've been watching, whatever it is that you've been enjoying lately that has been adding joy to your life. I would love to hear what that is. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.